The work they did there annoys me, so I don't go there. When I'm passing by, I don't even want to look there. Those are the words of the chief of Dachio in the Bolgatanga East District of the Upper East region. He's unhappy about the nature of dam constructed in the area and the government's One Village, One Dam initiative. Naba Akaliga II says, though he was consulted before the construction began, he was left in the dark when the contractor reported the site, and within a week, he disappeared without a word. The chief also describes the dam as a football park because he believes it's almost flat and cannot hold much water. Today, in our series of stories from communities where government's One Village, One Dam initiative has kicked off, JoyNews' Upper East correspondent Albert Sori and Joshua Asa of A1 Radio in Bolgatanga report from Dachio.
Approaching the dam from the Bolgatanga township, we saw this embankment. It stretched over 100 meters, so at first sight, we were expecting to see on the other side of it a big dam full of water. But that was not the case. The entire landmass for this dam stretched a little more than 2 football fields, and the water covered just about half of that. We saw cattle and sheep drinking from the dam, a sign that the dam may be serving a purpose after all, but these youth of Dachio disagreed.
The youth were happy that we will be getting a dam, which will help us in diverse ways. But as you can see, it's like the contractor is done and he's left. And looking at the amount of water in the dam, it can't even sustain our animals. Neither talking of doing any other thing.
Looking at what they have done, it's like it's nothing to write home about, because this water cannot sustain it to November. Neither talking of doing the dry season farming. And the bank is nothing to write home about. This bank is being done by muddy soil. It's supposed to be gravel, and the back of it is supposed to be grass, so that it can also conserve some of the water.
They said after the contractor left the site, it appeared as though he had leveled the land rather than construct a dam or a dugout. One of the youth even volunteered to wade through the water to demonstrate to us that the dam was shallow. He was warned about pits within the water, so he retreated. According to some of the youth, before this water gathered, some of the community members took advantage of the work done on the land to dig some pits where they collected sand and gravel to repair their mud buildings. We saw signs of this. A hole lying near some gravel, obviously chipped out of the ground here.
When you are going down, it's just like they just fetch the sand somewhere and packed it somewhere. And that cannot be a dam. When you enter the water, you see that it's just about your knee level. And that is the whole, even the deepest part. In fact, when it rained first, the first rain that came, the spillway that they have made, almost, the dam was getting full, but the spillway too is not located very well. So it was aiding the water to just pass out.
Even most of our brothers, we came here to complain about it, but they said they have not finished it. All this place, they said they will come back and reconstruct it or remove all this wood and logs away. But they didn't come back.
If
the contractor has not yet been paid, then I suggest the government should not pay him. And if he wants, he should go to court. Then he can prove if this is how dams are built. The president's idea is good, but maybe the people in charge of monitoring are not doing their job. If not, how can the contractor do this and call it a dam? Just like the other dams we have visited so far, the Dachio Dam also has a spillway, but it has no canals to the surrounding farms. Naba Akaliga II is the chief of Dachio.
They said it's a irrigational dam.
we will be farming on it. But this one they constructed is not even a dugout. It's never a dugout. You can't describe it. That's why I gave it the name to it, a football park. It's too flat. We needed a water for ourselves and our animals. And when they came, myself and my elders all agreed, and we provided them land to do the construction. And when they started it, I wasn't around. I don't know even the person who supervised the construction. And they did it the sort of way they did. It is the contractor, the fault of the contractor. What they did, it annoys me, so I don't go there. When I'm even riding, I don't want to look there.
The people of Dachio are predominantly farmers. So this dam and the government's One Village, One Dam initiative, if properly constructed, could create a lot of jobs for the youth through dry season farming. For now, the current state of the dam has left the people of Dachio disappointed. For Joy News, Albert Sorry and Joshua Asar reporting.
So my colleague there from Bolgatanga, Albert Torre and Joshua Asar, put that together, and we've been airing stories like this since last week. Government responded in a statement, and my colleague Ernest Menu just returned from a government tour. They wanted to have first-hand information. So tell us which of the dams you visited and in which cities of Ghana.
We visited 6 dams. First we were at Gono, which is in the Nanton district. Then we moved to Yemo Karaga in the Karaga district. Then we moved to Pisigu Karaga. Then Denugu in the Garu district. This one in the Upper East region. So the first 3 were in the northern region. And then we moved to Yabregu in the Timpani district, also in the Upper East region. And then we wrapped it up at Migogo at the Boko Central constituency. And so that is, these are the 6 places we visited, and we had the dams inspected by the Minister for Special Initiative and Development, Mavis Hawakumsen, in the company of the Information Minister, Kojo Ponkruma, toured these areas to have first-hand information on work ongoing and to see if they are working according to specification.
So what did you discover at these dams? Any highlights?
Yes, and so the first thing that we have to notice that for all of these 6 dams we visited, all of the dams are not complete. They are between 70 to 90% complete, and these figures were given us by the engineers, the consultants on site. So all of the dams are not complete. The minister tells us that there are about 300 rolled out across northern Ghana. We visited only 6. The 6 are not complete.
And why did they choose those 6?
Well, it is not clear why they chose those 6, but for the minister tells us that they wanted to have a fair idea of what was happening in the regions, and so this was sort of spread abroad. But the other thing that you need to know is that the dams across the country, again, like I said, are not complete. And so the minister tells us that she is satisfied with the work she has seen so far. And that's very instructive. After the tour, we asked her the question, are you satisfied with what you've seen? She said, yes, I am satisfied because the work is not done. Up to the stage they are, I think that they are doing a good job. And that's the minister's assessment.
I know that traveling with a government delegation can be quite hectic.
Absolutely.
Did you get time to find out from the residents themselves?
Yes.
They were satisfied with what they had seen?
We spoke to the residents, especially when we got to Gonu, which was the first place we visited, the first stop. The residents there, first of all, let me say that generally the residents are very excited about this project because they are predominantly farmers and they think that this will help them. However, in Gunu, for instance, the people say they are worried about the embankment, which is the sort of protection that you give to the dam so that it is strengthened, and then when you have a lot of water coming into the reservoir, it doesn't break. And I'm sure in one of the stories you saw Albert Story speak to that issue where the people say they fear the rains are coming and this might lead to a collapse of the embankment. They want you know, a stronger embankment, and that's the specific case of Gunu. The people want that address. When you go to the other places like Denugu, there are surrounding communities, and they think that the government should be able to build a bridge that will link them to the other places so that they are not cut off. Because the fear is that once it begins to rain, you know, the water levels go up, and if you're not careful, it will be difficult to access the place. Now, you need this for all year round farming. And so they want a bridge so that it will be easy for them to access the place. And then finally at Migogo, where we visited, the people were excited. In fact, they presented their goods to them for the president. However, they say that they want the dam expanded. They think that what they have is good, but they want a bigger dam so that it can meet their needs.
Thank you very much. My colleague Ernest Menu just returned from that tour, and so you'll be seeing more pictures and reports from his trip with the Minister for Special Initiatives and Information Minister.